Hello. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Okay, this is going to be a little bit different than what I showed you before. These problems are not going to be solving for x. Rather, what you're going to be doing instead is you're going to be simplifying expressions. Okay, but in general, if you're adding or subtracting rational expressions, you want to find a least common denominator, LCD. I'll just I abbreviated for that. When multiplying or dividing, oops, I forgot to do this earlier. Okay, so when multiplying or dividing, you don't need a least common denominator. Okay, and you'll see that very soon. So let's start off with just a basic fraction example, and then we'll work up and get a little bit harder. Okay, so let's say like you guys have already seen this before, like 2/3 times 1/2, right? So basically what you do is when you're multiplying, you multiply straight across. 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6. So that's 2/6. 2/6 reduces to 1/3. Okay, and that's basically how you would simplify something when you multiply two fractions together. Okay, let's say we were to change this around, well, before we do, let's just draw a picture of what this looks like. If some of you don't believe me, I know some of you just kind of struggle with this in general. Let's draw a picture. Okay, so this would be 1/3, this would be 2/3, and this would be the other third, right? So as you can see here, right, if we multiply by 1/2 here, if we multiply by 1/2, we're splitting this up, and basically we're only considering, if we multiply by 1/2, then we should only have 1/3 left, if that makes sense. This is also the same thing. So recall, like if you did like 2/3 divided by 2, right? So I don't know if you guys remember this from elementary school or not, but whenever you're dividing, let's say this is 2 divided by 1. Remember, you have to, dividing same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So we have 2/3 and we multiply by 1/2. And that's another way that you could go ahead and do that if you're wondering. Okay? So the reason why I want to show you this is, let's say I give you something like 3/5 and we divide that by 3/2. Okay, so similar principle. So what we want to do is anytime we divide, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. So 3/5 multiplied by 2/3. Okay, so generally what's going to happen, what I see here, is this just cancels. The 3's cancel. We have 1 and a 1. So 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5. And we're just left with 2/5. Same, I just noticed here, if you wanted to do this, you could have done this right off the bat. The 1 and the 1, and then you get that there. So that's another way you can also get 1/3 for the first one. But generally, just remember, when you're dividing, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. That's the big picture for if you're dividing fractions. Okay, let's bump up the difficulty now. Instead of dealing with fractions, let's try to multiply. First, we're going to do multiplying rational expressions, and we're going to work with dividing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen, and let's begin. Okay, so for this example, all I'm going to ask you to do is to simplify the following expression. Okay, so we have x squared minus 4x divided by 3 times 2 divided by x minus 4. Okay, so what I see here is I'm looking at this because if you see here, we have some terms that have something in common. There's an x in common with both of them. So we can pull out an x. So this is x times x minus 4 divided by 3 times 2 divided by x minus 4. Okay? So what I see here is a couple ways you can do this. If you see that you have x minus 4 here, you can cancel this right off the bat, and you can write 2x divided by 3, and that's fine. Or if you guys prefer just to write everything all as one rational expression, you could. So for example, if you, like I told you earlier, with fractions, you multiply straight across. Same idea if you're multiplying rational expressions. So we put the 2, we can put that in front here. So this is 2x times x minus 4 divided by 3. And if I put parentheses right there, that would be x minus 4. And what you're going to see is, if you rewound the video very quickly, what I showed you, basically you're going to realize that the x minus 4 is going to cancel. And then you're just left with 2x divided by 3. And that is your answer. All right. So let's try another example. Okay. Hopefully I can fit it. I think I can. So same idea. We want to simplify the following expression. So something like x squared minus 10x plus 21 divided by x minus 7, and we're multiplying that by 8 divided by x. Okay, so this does look intimidating at first. So what I first see what we can do with this is we have this quadratic in here. So this implies, well, I think in my mind, we'll find two numbers that multiply to 21 and add up to negative 10, right? And then if you do that correctly, I believe that should be negative 7, negative 3. Okay, and then because negative 7 times negative 3 is positive 21, negative 7 plus negative 3 is going to be negative 10. And then we divide by 1. And then what I see here, so this changes to x minus 7. This is x minus 3, x minus 3. And then divide by x minus 7. And then we multiply that by 8 divided by x. Okay, so that's my little scratch word for just factoring it. Okay, let's see. What I see is this x minus 7 here. This is going to cancel. And then we're left with, so the 8 is going to come in front. So we just have something like 8 times x minus 3 divided by x. Oh, we did fit it. Nice. And that would be our answer. Okay. Now I can see some of you like kind of just looking at this like, wait, not sure if I know how to factor. Is there another way you could do this? It just so happens for this particular problem, I see another way that you could do this. I mean, it won't work like this all the time, but you could even use synthetic division on this. You know, like if you guys don't know how to, like you guys suck at factoring, you guys could use synthetic division or like long division if you wanted to. So that's like another way you can also factor if you guys are having trouble with this. If you just do it right here, you get 0. So this is basically, this implies 1x minus 3. So we have x minus 3. So this means this x squared minus 10x plus 21 is the same thing as x minus 3, and we multiply it by x minus 7. Yeah, and as you can see, that's exactly what we have there. So another way that you could do it if you guys like doing it that way. Not all problems will be like that, if you're wondering. And you'll see that in the next couple of examples, not all problems are going to be like that. A lot of them are going to deal with you actually have to factor it. Okay. Please let me know if you have any questions on anything, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye. Hello. All right, so in the next couple problems, we're gonna do the division ones. Okay, so recall what I showed you earlier. When you have a division symbol here, this is the same thing as multiplying by this rational expression's reciprocal. So let's start off with that. 7x plus 35 divided by x, and then we change it to multiplication, and then we need to flip this around. So we have x squared divided by x plus 5. That's the first step. Okay, let's see. What I see here is, let's look at this. So it looks like certain number can be factored out. So it looks like a 7 can be factored out. So this is 7 times x plus 5 divided by x, and we multiply that by x squared divided by x plus 5. Okay, so next what I see what we can do from here is if we were to multiply straight across, you can. So we have 7 times x plus 5 times x squared, and we divide this by x times x plus 5. So what I see here is this will cancel out with this. You could have done that right off the bat here. And then we have the x's, so we have x squared. This is x times x, so basically one of them is going to cancel. And look at that. We're left with 7x. And that's all there is to that problem. Okay? Let's try to do another problem. Okay, so let's say I give you something like this. So let's say I give you something like x squared minus 49 divided by 8. And we divide this by, let's say we have 2x minus 14 divided by 3. Okay, so same idea. What we want to do is we have a division symbol here. So since we have a division symbol, we want to multiply, same thing as multiplying, by this rational expression's reciprocal. Okay, so let's rewrite it. X squared minus 49 divided by 8. Multiplied by, we need to flip this around. So we have 3 divided by 2x minus 14. Okay, now we're going to have to do a little bit of manipulation of this. So recall, if you guys remember difference of squares formula, it's like, oh my gosh, that was a very long time ago. Not sure if I remember that, right? X squared minus y squared, same thing as x plus y times x minus y, right? So basically, square root of 49, right? Square root of 49 is 7. So that means y is 7. Yeah? So if you were to factor this and go back to the other videos, if you don't see how that works, this is x minus 7, x plus 7 divided by x minus 7 divided by 8. And then what we have is this is 3 divided by, I see 2x minus 14. So there's a 2 in common with both of these terms, so we can factor out a 2. So we have something like that. Okay, like I showed you earlier, you can make them all together, right? So, or you could just, as you can see here, the x minus 7 should cancel out, but I'll just show you anyway. So we're going to put the 3 in front here. So we have 3 times x plus 7 times x minus 7. 8 times 2 is 16, and we multiply by x minus 7. And look at that. We can cancel, and that's our final answer. We have 3 times x minus 7, 3 times x plus 7 divided by 16. And there we go. So that is our answer for that particular problem. Okay, I have one more problem, and that will close up the video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen. One final problem. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to simplify again. So if we we want to simplify the following expression, we have something like 2x plus 6 divided by 5x divided by x squared plus 2x minus 3, and we divide this by x plus 11. Okay, just like I told you earlier, first step, we have a division symbol here. So what we want to do is this is the same thing as multiplying by this rational expression's reciprocal. X plus 11 divided by x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay, first, what I see is if we look at this here, we can factor out a 2. So this is 2 times x plus 3 divided by 5x multiplied by x plus 11. And then we need to factor that lovely thing. You factor it, you need to find two numbers that multiply to negative 3 and add up to 2. I believe that should be 3 and negative 1. 3 times negative 1, negative 3. 3 plus negative 1, 2. Divide by our a term, so that's going to be 1. So we have x plus 3, x minus 1. Okay. And then we can go ahead and simplify. So like I showed you earlier, so you can group these together or just cancel that right off the bat. It is entirely up to you. So what I see is, let's just put equals here. So we have 2 times x plus 3 times x plus 11 divided by 5x times x plus 3 times x minus 1. And as you can see here, we have the same term in the numerator and denominator. And then we just simplify. So 2 times x plus 11 divided by 5x times x minus 1. And there we go. So that is basically our answer for that problem. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions on this. And I'll see you later. Okay, bye.